started to get ready, and I reached into the closet, and there's a picture of my son, 4 days old, and he's this little 1-pound baby on respiratory, basically looking the way he looked now, but as a 1-pounder. And I'm thinking, that's my inspiration. He was saved before as this little tiny guy. He's strong and he's going to be saved again. And the next morning, I texted my husband because I was in the hospital room and I thought, we need to have Glenn come pray for my son. I need someone's hands on my son. Even though there was all these prayers, I needed someone to put their hands on my son. And he was the first person that came to mind. So I texted my husband, and within 5 minutes, he had a response saying, we're on our way. And him and his wife were there, and I cried and panicked every day till then. When he prayed with me, I just had the strength afterwards that I just was assured, like, no more tears. He's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. And we went into his IC review room, and we prayed for him, and he had me put my hand over John's head, and I felt this warm pulsating against my hand. And I was very gentle touching his head, because I was really afraid to touch his head, but I could feel it against my hand, and I just knew that something miraculous was happening. And the next morning, I walked into the room, and he was awake. His eyes were open. He was still on the respirator, but his eyes were open, and he followed me as I walked towards him. And I said, baby, do you know who I am? And he said, he nodded yes. And I said, are you okay? And he shrugged his shoulders. And that showed me there was understanding, there was processing. He understood what I was saying, and he was awake. And it was a miracle. Doctors came in so excited. They could not believe that he was responding. He was reaching out to shake hands. Couldn't speak because of the breathing tubes, but he was able to let us know that he understood. And every day from that point on, he has just been like recovering. Like I kept hearing remarkable from the doctors. It's remarkable. It's unbelievable. You should be so thankful. After that, we were transferred to a hospital in Los Angeles, and I sat there while a team of doctors went through his chart and the report from the previous hospital, and one doctor stopped in the middle of all of it and said, do you know how lucky you are? Like, do you know? This is remarkable. I can't believe what we're reading compared to what we're seeing now. And he's just spent just a little more time there at the hospital, and I was moved over to rehab. I was told rehab would be a few months. I think it turned out to be 9 days. Oh. He gets a little discouraged sometimes. He's 18, and this has stopped his whole life. But we would sit and I'd say, listen, because you could hear the nurses outside talking outside his room, and they can't believe the progress he's making. They just can't believe it, and it's God. It's God, and again, I just remind him, like, God has something special for you. Like, you are meant to be here. You are meant to be something. And I know now, with our faith shaken like it has been at times, my faith is solid. I have no doubt. And I know, speaking for my son and in our family, everyone just thanks God. We know it's God. There is no other explanation for what has happened in his life. And if anything, I keep reminding him that he's touched a lot of hearts, even teenage hearts who are kind of hard and mean, and they prayed. And everyone who's prayed, I believe, might have a little bit more faith, knowing that he does hear our prayers, and when it's right for the person, he does perform that miracle. And I know that because of my son and everything he's gone through, he has strengthened other people's faith. And that's enough for me. That's enough for me. That's enough of an explanation of why this happened. And I am just so thankful, and I'm going to continue to pray that my son shares his story so that he can touch more lives, and maybe that's what this is about. But so thank you. We just really felt compelled to come today and thank you and share this story, because there is no other explanation. So, thank you.
Or give him the praise, brother. Give him the glory.
There's not really the words I can say. All I can say is thank you. to God.
Yes.
Because I mean, last year and early this year before my accident and all that, my faith was real low. It wasn't how it is now. But I'm just surprised. You know?